Hello and welcome to the course of manufacturing method. So in the last lecture of this subject we have seen about introduction to the welding. Now in this lecture we will be discussing about our first topic in welding, that is our fusion welding. And in the fusion welding topic we will dig deep into the fusion welding, and there we will discuss first about chemical fusion welding, that is when the heat for fusion is generated by the chemical reaction. So at that time that process is known as chemical fusion welding. So this is our 21st lecture and this is your fourth module of this whole course. Let's start our lecture with lecture objective. So here the lecture objective of this lecture is to know about or is to understand about fusion welding. So we will understand about fusion welding. Next we will see the heat supplied, or the process of heat supplied, or the ways by which heat can be supplied in fusion welding. And then we will classify the fusion welding, and in that, after the classification, we will see about the when the future we will see about chemical fusion welding. So what is chemical fusion welding, that we will see. And lastly in this lecture we will be discussing a detailed description of gas and thermite welding. So we will have a detailed description of gas welding and thermite welding, along with their applications and advantages. So let's start our lecture. So fusion welding, what is fusion welding? In fusion welding is mainly liquid state welding. This fusion welding is, so in the fusion welding, this is the process of joining the material, similar or dissimilar material, by the method of melting together by application of heat, then condensing with or without use of with or without application of filler material. So heating means melting and joining together, melting and solidification, that is the process of fusion. So it is a liquid state welding, and it is also called homogeneous welding. And this welding, whenever there is no filler material, no external filler material is used, then it is called autogenous welding. Okay. Now heat energy, which required for melting, that heat energy can be given by, or can be required heat energy can be given by chemical reaction or by electric current, which depending on which the fusion welding can be classified in two types. First one is chemical welding, second one is electrical welding. In case of chemical welding, this is the joining process for similar and dissimilar material by the method of fusion welding, and the heat required for the joining, heat required for the fusion, is given by the exothermic chemical reaction. Exothermic means those reaction in which heat is generated, that is your exothermic chemical reaction. There are two widely used chemical fusion welding processes. First one is oxy-fuel gas welding, or OFW, and or it may be sometime it is called gas welding and thermite welding. These two are the chemical welding process. And in gas welding, the combustion reaction means burning of fuel gas. The reaction for burning of fuel gas to release the heat, or to get the required heat, is used. But in case of thermite welding, heat is generated by using thermite mixture. So thermite mixture is used. So the chemical reaction will be different for these two parts, but the both the reactions are exothermal reactions, and heat will be generated throughout in the reaction, and so our welding, the required heat for fusion will be generated from the chemical reaction. So that is it for chemical welding. Now we will dig deep into the gas welding or oxy-fuel gas welding. The oxy-fuel gas welding, in this oxy-fuel gas welding or gas welding, the welding flame is generated by burning the fuel gas to get necessary heat for welding. So that is it. The burning of fuel gas, the necessary heat for welding will be generated. It is one of the most common type of the welding process of this oxy-fuel welding or OFW process is oxyacetylene gas welding, or it is also called OAW or oxyacetylene gas welding. This here the combustion in oxyacetylene gas welding, combustion follows two set of experiment or two set of chemical reaction. First one is primary combustion and second one is secondary combustion. In primary combustion, the primary combustion, whenever we can see the flame, the inner core of the flame will giving the primary combustion reaction, and at that point 1/3% of the total heat will be generated by the primary combustion, and the reaction for primary combustion is C2H2 plus oxygen, that is burning in presence of oxygen, that would give us 2CO plus H2O, and a lot of heat will be generated, and this is our heat from primary combustion. Now from the secondary combustion, that is generated in the external surface of the flame or in the flame, that is here 2/3 part of the heat will be generated, and the external combustion reaction is given by 2CO plus H2 plus half 1.5 O2, that would give us 2 CO2 plus H2O plus heat, and these two heat, the addition of the heat generated from these two combustion reaction will directly directly used to melt the material in the desired place for the welding. See in this figure, the oxygen cylinder, that is our red cylinder, and the acetylene cylinder, that is our black cylinder or fuel cylinder. So in that by using that in that we control the pressure by pressure regulator, and by using the welding torch and needle valve, we control the flow of oxygen and fuel gas, and by controlling the flow of oxygen and fuel gas, we can have different type of flame that we will see in the next lecture. But we can see we can get the flame by ignition, and after the flame ignition in the front of the welding torch, that welding torch is moved in the weld joint location, so that the base material will be melted and joined together. Filler material, if needed, that filler material will be supplied in the form of wire or rod in case of gas welding. Now there are three type of flames. First one is neutral flame. In that equal amount of oxygen and acetylene, or equal amount of oxygen and fuel will be there. This is also known as balanced flame, and this is used for welding of mild steel and stainless steel. Oxidizing flame, in case of oxidizing flame, the outer envelope will be of blue color, and here excess amount of oxygen will be present, and inner cone will be less luminous and shorter. Outer envelope is short and narrow. This is used for welding of copper and zinc. And carburizing flame, in case of carburizing flame, intermediate cone can be seen, and excess amount of acetylene is there. Here there is 3 sections. An intermediate cone will have whitish color and the outer cone will have bluish color, and it is used for high carbon steel and cast iron. So in case of neutral flame, the percentage of oxygen and acetylene is 1:1. In case of oxidizing flame, it is 1.15:1, and in case of carburizing, it is 1:1.15. Now gas welding, now there are some other important points for gas welding, that is hydrogen, methyl acetylene, propylene, that these can be used as fuels, and flux coated, uncoated, flux coated or uncoated filler material in the form of rod or wire can be used. Next, most of the ferrous and non-ferrous alloy of any section can be welded. So most of the ferrous and non-ferrous alloy of any section can be welded by fusion welding. Essentially, it's a manual and slow process. Low equipment cost is there. The process is very versatile. Low quality work and simple operation can be done. And in case of flame temperature, the flame temperature can reach up to 3300 degrees Celsius. Now, thermite welding. What is thermite welding? Thermite is a trade name for thermite, and that thermite is a mixture of fine powder of aluminium and iron oxide in 1:3 mixture ratio. This mixture when ignited, that mixture has a temperature of 1300 degrees Celsius. Now this temperature will be increased by exothermic reaction, that is 8Al plus 3Fe3O4 which gives us 9Fe plus 4Al2O3 plus a large amount of heat. By adding the heat that is generated from the equation or generated from the chemical reaction, the temperature of the tip became, temperature of the metal became 25 degrees Celsius, and the molten mixture, and a molten mixture of thermite is formed, and this molten mixture, this thermite molten mixture is placed is poured into the desired place that where the welding should be done, and upon cooling the base material will be joined together. This is mainly used for railroad rail, repairing of large casting and other heavy application. See here in this figure, what we can see. So here in this figure, so in case of thermite welding, see here the super hot steel, that is this that is our here in this reaction you can see that iron will be formed, and this iron is placed in the lower part, and the upper part or slag is Al2O3 slag. Now only this iron is poured into the place where our thermite welding should be done, and by that by this welding, by pouring this material into the place where our welding should be done, by pouring this we can get we can get a complete welding. And this welding is this thermite welding is similar to the casting. Okay, now here in this thermite welding, what happened, this fine or super hot steel from the thermite reaction is poured into the place where the welding should be done by opening this tapping device from the crucible, and the slag will remain in the crucible, and inside the mold the thermite is left for, inside the mold the thermite is left for solidification, And now by the solidification of this thermite these two metal part, or these two railroad, see, these two metal part are joined together. So this thermite welding process is mostly used in case of our railroad repairing or railroad joining. So for joining of two rails, we can use this thermite welding process. So that is it for your chemical fusion welding. Now hope you enjoy this lecture and hope you understand the terms and the principles. If you have any problem, you may ask in the live class session. Thank you.